Hi guys, and welcome back to akaMama. Today I'm recording a very special video because it's my first time doing an Ask Me Anything episode. So a few episodes ago I posted a video, and at the end of the video I asked you guys to ask me anything, and I finally had some time to actually go through those questions and take some time to answer them. I will give a disclaimer though, I'm currently in the motherland and I almost forgot to record a video. We have 3 toddlers that were navigating in the house, and I had set up everything for recording, but of course I'm the cool auntie, they want to play with me, so I've kind of like escaped. So hopefully I'll be able to record till the end of this video without any interruptions. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Tafara. I am based in Germany, originally from Zimbabwe, and in this space, I talk about motherhood, parenting, and raising children abroad. So that's somewhat going to be the scope of the questions that I'll be answering based on, the questions that people submitted. I'll get right into it. All right, so I'm looking at my phone here to read the questions, and one of the first questions I got was, what has surprised you the most about motherhood? Honestly, I would say everything. There's so many things that have surprised me, and I think my answer would be different with each season of motherhood. But if I'm to pin it down to what really surprised me the most, I think it's how quickly the babies evolve. So I remember when, of course, when my son was born, and I remember at 3 days, he was already a completely different person. And I missed the version from, the first day that he was born. And 2 weeks down the line, he was a completely different person. Like that first year is absolutely wild. Everything moves so fast. It's from the size of the fingers to the baby toes to the height to everything. It's all so fast, and I felt like there was not enough time to enjoy it. Just as I was like, oh my gosh, I'm enjoying this phase, I'm liking this, they've developed into something else. But if I'm really to nail it down to one thing, I think it's a bit crazy how many different emotions coexist. So, you feel the exhaustion, you're tired. When your child is now naughty, you're so angry. And then you feel this overwhelming love. It's like a roller coaster of emotions that under normal circumstances, at least prior to motherhood, I never had so many emotions coexist within the space, within the same space. So I would say that was the most shocking thing for me. Okay, the next question I'm going to answer today, I already partially answered it under my YouTube video, but I was asked, how do you stay motivated to continue your YouTube journey while balancing motherhood, adulthood, and lifestyle? So I would say that's a multi-layered. I can't, there's no one sentence to answer that question. I'll start with answering the YouTube journey part. As y'all know, this is not something that I had been planning for a very long time. It was somewhat spontaneous. I just started with it, and at the point that I started, I just committed. I decided, it was very important to me to remain consistent. I'm happy I've managed to do that. So I guess I somewhat have the discipline to be consistent, but what I do sometimes have a challenge with is the execution. I don't know if that makes sense. So it is easy for me to be consistent. Like, okay, I committed to posting a video every Friday. I've been able to stick to that. But the dedication to actually sit down and record and come up with something that I'm passionate about, so many things, right? Come up with something that I really feel like talking about on that day. That's sometimes really challenging. The second part of the question was what? Adulthood. Okay, I always say it's a one-way street, There's no way backwards. So that one, it's like, I don't know. That's the best way I can answer it. You just gotta take it one day at a time, 1 minute at a time if you have to, 1 hour at a time. But from one milestone to the other, try not get caught up in the bigger picture. I feel like sometimes it's possible and it is motivating to think 5 years ahead. But for those days where it's, a bit of a challenge, then you just take it one day at a time. And then the lifestyle part, I know what I'm aspiring to achieve, and just having that in mind keeps me going. Not only on the YouTube perspective, but in general in life. Like, I know what I want. I'm not where I want to be today. I know where I want to be, so I have to keep going. Like, this is a part of the journey. So being on the journey keeps me motivated. Yeah, baby steps to get there. All right, the next question I'm going to answer today from the questions that were submitted were, what has been the hardest moment as a first-time mom? You know, it's difficult to just give one answer to these things because for me, a really, really big one is obviously doing this motherhood journey away from my family. That's really hard. But, you know, I've gotten used to living away from my family, so I somehow managed to navigate it. But if I do nail it down to one thing, I think the first year is the hardest because I remember for some reason, I don't know if it's like that with all children, but with my son, I noticed at 4 month intervals, he was like getting super naughty. So 4 months was tough. 8 months was tough. He was crawling and he was super fast, and I was so scared that he's going to crawl off things and hurt himself. And I remember just before his first birthday, we had gotten to the next, you know, the elevated level of naughtiness. And every night I was praying to God that this child just makes it through to his first birthday. He was so naughty. I was so scared he was going to do something and accidentally kill himself. And you know, when you tell people when you're going through that, they laugh it off. They tell you, oh, that's what children do. Even right now, super naughty. They're like, yeah, that's what kids do. That's what boys do. I have never been a mother before. I was experiencing it for the first time, and I was really, really scared. It's like the whole time this child is awake, you're on your toes, just trying to keep them alive. At some point, it felt like that was my biggest life goal, to just keep this child alive, see them through the day, so they, you know, they go to bed with no incident. That was hard. Oh, and then I just want to circle back on that how fast they grow thing, and how fast they develop and how things change. I remember this one time, it was before he started crawling. And of course, it's very important to do tummy time with babies for their motor skills and whatnot. And he hated tummy time. And I knew it was something really important. So the next checkup we had at the pediatrician, I said, hey, I'm aware of the fact that we should be doing tummy time with, with the baby, but he really hates it. And every time we're doing tummy time, he cries so much. And the pediatrician looked at me and he was like, your child is going to go to school one day, right? I said, yes. He's like, your child is going to have to do homework, right? It's like, yeah, of course. And he's like, he's going to hate it, but he's going to have to do it. Same thing with tummy time. So, you know, that was the hard truth I needed to hear in that moment. And instead of like picking him up as quickly as I used to prior to that consultation, I would just leave him on the ground longer to do this tummy time because of how important it was. And, you know, having to grow into that tough love, it's kind of hard, but doable. But yeah, I found that also to be a bit challenging as a first-time mom. And yeah, now I'd say I'm pretty good at the tough love thing. All right, there's already a bit of bickering going on in the background. I need to attend to the kids. So I'm only going to answer one more question. And yeah, okay, because the person that dropped it, they were like, please, please, please answer this one. I need answers. She was like, what's your go-to mom hack? Yeah, I know for a lot of moms, sometimes it's snacks or whatever it is, but I would say for me, it's just speaking up, whether speaking up with your partner, with your friends, with your village, your support system, whatever that looks like. When you need help, really just speak up. And I find that often when you do speak up, people do help because people can't guess from wherever they are doing whatever they're doing that, you know, you need somebody to step in and help you. And I would advocate for every mama out there to always speak up. It makes a difference. And I also know some moms that are afraid to ask for help. But if you don't ask for help, people aren't gonna, you know, step in and help you with, you know, and show up in the way that you need them to. So I would say that's my go-to mom hack. Thank you so much for sending in all your questions. I didn't go through all of them, but I'm sure I'll be doing one of these in the future, and I'll plan it better for a time, you know, when I'm at home when I can really go through everything properly. But this is something I've had at the back of my mind, and they just really wanted to address it and answer a few of these questions. And now it's time for me to go be a mommy, be an auntie. So if you enjoyed this video, as always, please like this video. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.
Like, comment, subscribe, and share.